Hello everybody, Marlene, aka Snow Gardener 307. We are here for another hodgepodge vlog. I am putting together some footage that I've had for a little bit. As you guys know, I have been on the struggle bus and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the struggle is still there. It is getting better, but I've had this footage along with footage for 2 grocery hauls that I haven't put up on my other channel, Snow Gardener 307. So I'm promised myself that today I would get the editing done, and you guys are going to be seeing this video today. So technically the voice that you're hearing is editing Marlene, but we do have some footage with my hubby this week, so I'm super excited to share that with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into our vlog. Here we are. We decided to stop in Farson, Wyoming for an ice cream, and I'm gonna flip this around so that you can see the size of these ice creams. So here's mine, that is a salted caramel. Now flip your cone around so they can see it a little bit better. It is like overflowing. Look at that. So they have sizes, right? And baby is what Mr. Snow Gardener got. I got a half a baby. Like, this is the smallest that they have. And what are the other sizes besides baby? Do you remember? I've always been a little bit smaller. So I got salted caramel, and what you get? The churro one?
Honey churro.
Honey churro. Does it taste like Cinnamon Toast Crunch like they said?
A little bit, yeah. A
little bit. So we are here for a brand new vlog. We are headed to see our grandbaby. And as you guys know, I don't show my granddaughter on YouTube. So unfortunately, you guys won't get to see that. We are going to go get some stuff and do a little bit of shopping in preparation of my surgery. So we're going to head on our way down the road. Now, I don't share my granddaughter's face on YouTube, but I just had to share these with you guys. Look at her feet, and then look at her hair. She is almost 2 months old, and she was doing some tummy work time. She's so cute. Okay, everybody, you can see Mr. Snow Gardener is super excited to go into TJ Maxx to find some things. Something just blew out of the car. I gotta get out of the car. All right, everybody, we're gonna head into TJ Maxx. We've got some shopping to do to get ready for my surgery. And one thing that I need is I need button-up tops. I already have lots of comfy pants, but I might buy myself one pair. If I can find some PJs that are button-up, I might do that. So we're gonna go check and see what we can get. It is super windy here, as you guys can see. You need some Easter stuff. Look at this Easter basket, you guys. With its little pom-pom tail. We've got a little tea-ware set. So cute. I lost Mr. Snow Gardener already. I think he went to the purses. Oh, is he looking at luggage? What you looking at? Some new luggage? Look at how cute that suitcase is with the puppies on it.
That was what actually brought me over.
So cute. So cute. I like this pink set too. But you've got, so this one right here, the smallest one is $49.99. Then you've got the other 2 that are separate. My suitcase is still alive. My father-in-law's fix made it last. Here's some clearance travel. I should get a new neck pillow. You guys, I lost my neck pillow while we were traveling.
You should find one with a little bag like that new one has. Like this
like one. That one right there?
You want it?
I don't know.
It's a cooling one too.
Oh yeah? I don't know what I want. Mr. Snow Gardener needs this travel rain poncho too.
But if we get this, we might just have to trade me for the other one.
Oh yeah?
I'll keep the cooling one.
It's a cooling one? Is that what it says?
It says cooling.
Cooling travel pillow with memory foam. What is it? Like down from $20 to $19? Is that the clearance?
12.
It's down to 12. This is not what we're in here for.
I'm aware. But you let me come over here.
I know. I lost you way too quick. I turned around and all of a sudden you were gone. I thought you were looking at the purses. Thought you were looking for a new purse. This one right here.
Because my old purse is so...
Yeah, this says Bridger right here. With all these beads. I don't think you can say that on YouTube.
Say what?
Guess what I don't need? I don't need more bags. We don't need more bags. We don't need luggage. Oh, there's the non-clearance pillows. All right, I'm gonna go look at the PJs. I don't know what the hubby is doing. At least since I came in last time, you guys, it does look like stuff is back set up and they have changed things around, obviously. Ooh, there's clearance stuff. I should probably go check out the clearance stuff. Does look pretty good now that it's all done. Let's take a look at the clearance and see if there are any button-up shirts. I'm sure this is going to be mostly winter stuff. I probably don't need this type of button-up while I'm trying to heal. Even though, I don't know, that feels pretty comfy. It feels pretty soft. Let's see. It's on clearance for $16. It's an extra large. It's kind of goofy looking though, but it is super soft. Let's see. Don't really need sweaters. Oh, here's a button up, you guys. Look at that. That would be super classy. I probably should just go with some PJs. I wonder if I'd like this one. It's a Lucky brand. Is that pattern too wild and crazy?
I don't know.
There was this too. It's super soft and comfy.
I found you the other thing over there you needed to.
It's probably true because I froze my butt off this last time.
It doesn't feel like it's very heavy though.
No?
But I mean, it sure doesn't take a whole lot, right?
How much is it?
$10.
Okay. All right. So here is a hoodie, you guys, that is a zip up, but it's a 1X. It's very, very big. Oh, very cool. All right, let's look for some button-up stuff. I did find a couple, but like I said, it's probably not what I actually need. Looks like another rack of very similar things. This shirt is interesting. Very interesting. I am not a fashionista, just in case you guys didn't know that. I wonder if there is a clearance section in the PJs. Ooh, I see PJs. So let's go over here. Oh, I also have to get some different bras that don't have underwires in them. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. That looks amazingly comfortable. How much is it? $24.99. And it's got the shirt, the pants, and the shorts. And that's a large. That should fit. I think I'm going to get a couple of these. And I think it will be great for surgery. Okay, those are mediums. That one's an extra large. I've got a large. Is that what this one is? This one's a large. Maybe the extra large. How many does one need? I can't wear any sort of shirt that will have to go over my head. I believe it said for at least a week. This one's more cotton, not as comfy. I don't care what brand it is. I really don't. I think, is that the one I already have? I don't know. I'm losing track. Okay, I definitely think I'm going to get some PJs. All right, let me look through some of this stuff. I'm not going to talk to you guys while I'm looking through the bras, but I'm definitely going to get some of these. I see some clearances here, and I don't know if they're just in the rack, but you guys know I love clearance, so I'm going to take a little bit closer. Okay, I found some PJ sets I'm going to get, and I found some bras without wires in them. Now I'm looking for my husband because he seems to have disappeared with the cart. He does that often, and I have no idea what he's looking for. I could call him, but I figured let's take a look around really quick. They've got so many blankets, and I'm always tempted to buy blankets. How many blankets does one person need? Do you guys have any tendencies to overbuy, overconsume on certain items? I definitely do overconsume, and blankets is definitely one of them. And I did it often for my kids as well, and also sometimes maybe for my pets. You guys, look at this bed. Look at how cute that is. I'm going to kick it. It goes back and forth. I think my pets need that. Don't you guys think my pets need that? Look at the big old Stanley or Pupley cup. How cute is that? Little clearance lamps. How cute. Oh my gosh. I want one of these right here. I know it's for the dogs, but I want one of these for myself. So let's see if we can find my husband. I never expected him to get lost in TJ Maxx. Looks like they're still working on the middle section here, but this looks so much better than it did. I didn't actually look for actual shirts that are button up because I am not going to be buying any of that. Oh, I see my husband. He's over across there. Do you guys see him? Here he comes. Here comes my husband. Here I am back home. This is the TJ Maxx haul. I think we did pretty good. Of course, stuff fell into the cart that I didn't go for. Mr. Snow Gardener doesn't go shopping with me very often, thank goodness. I don't know about you guys, but if my hubby goes or if my kids go, I spend way more money. So the main thing I went was, of course, 4 PJs for myself. I ended up with 4 different sets, as you guys can see here. I don't care about the name brand. I wanted to see how comfy they were. This is a 3-piece set right here that comes, of course, with the button top, which is the most important. Comes with shorts and pants. And so it was $24.99. I can't talk. $24.99. And it was Flora. Then we've got Nicole Miller. Same type of set again. $24.99. Just a different pattern. This one is super, super soft. And so we've got flowers, we've got geometric. I thought this one right here looked like a granny set, so I figured I'd better get that. And then we've got some stripes. This one again is a 3-piece set for $24.99, and that one is Laura Ashley. I ended up with 4 different brands, not on purpose, you guys. And then this one I won't be able to wear the first week because it has got a tank top instead of an actual button up, but it's got this long, like comfort, like lounger, long sleeve lounger with it. I think I'm going to love this. Again, super soft. So this one was actually a 4-piece set and it was $29.99 by Daydream. So I got those 4 sets for myself. I need to go through my PJ drawer and get rid of some of the stuff. And then I went ahead and grabbed some supportive bras that didn't have underwires or anything in them. And TMI, you guys, but I'm actually going down in size when I get my surgery done. I am not getting implants or anything like that. That is not what this is about. It's about bringing it up and just making them look like they used to look, right? So $24.99 for this set right here, a set of 3, Steve Madden, and then we've got the Lucky brand as well. I found these ones on clearance. They were $20. So hopefully these will work out for me. And then, of course, after I'm completely healed from my surgery, which I think truly can take up to 6 months for swelling and stuff like that, then I will go ahead and get, you know, everything done then. And then I went ahead and grabbed a TJ Maxx bag because I have to. Of course, these are only 99 cents. Then Mr. Snow Gardener grabbed a couple new brushes. This is the most hair Mr. Snow Gardener's ever had. His hair is long and curly, and so he actually opened this one up and tried it already. This wet brush, he really likes it. He grabbed 2 more wet brushes. We had bought one in Hawaii, I think, and it was super, super expensive. So he found this little one for $4.99, this one for $5.99. He also needed some socks. I did have those on the list, and he already opened these and grabbed one out. And so it looks like those were $7.99, I believe. And then you saw at the beginning of the shopping video, Mr. Snow Gardener talked about this blanket right here. And I do think this will be a good idea for me because I do often freeze when I am traveling. So this one right here has got that strap and everything. And this, I believe, was on clearance. Or no, it wasn't on clearance. It was just $10.99. And so a jersey knit travel blanket. And we do travel a lot. So I'm going to put that with the travel stuff. And then Mr. Snow Gardener picked this pillow up since I lost my other one. and this was on clearance for $10.99, and it says it's a cooling one, so I am going to go ahead and swap that out for him. And so the total that I spent at TJ Maxx right here, you guys can see, was $204.47. Now, if you watch my budgeting videos, this right here is actually going to come out of my mommy makeover fund. All of it. I don't care that a little bit of it's for travel, Mr. Snow Gardener, just this right here. I'm going to pull this out of my mommy makeover fund. So I need to get these into the washer and everything so that I am ready for my surgery. Good morning, everybody. It is, what is it today? It's Friday today. I started my new job being a bartender at our local brewery last night. I did a day of training, and I tell you guys, that is exactly what my soul needs. Now, while I'm on training, I don't get tips or anything. I do get an hourly wage, but I'm just doing 2 days of training, and then they are closed. They do like a deep clean where like all their fan systems get cleaned, the lights get cleaned, all of that stuff. So they're going to be closed, and then I'm going to be going for my surgery. So after my surgery and after I heal up, which will probably be like beginning of June, I'll have 2 more days of training again, you know, because it will have been like a month or a month and a half, 2 months since I worked. But last night, socializing with coworkers and socializing with patrons was amazing. Just what the soul needed. So of course, you guys know that my business is slower, which is partly my fault, but I also needed the social interaction. So funny to tell you guys this, that I didn't even ask my friend Jeffrey what the wage was to start. I had no idea until yesterday. And then bartenders get paid more per hour than servers do, but they also get tips and everything, so it's still a tipped position. And you do have tip outs and stuff like that depending on who's there. Right now, the brewery in my small town is not super busy, but during the summer with all the tourists and everything, they do get busy. So they'll have food runners, they'll have hostess that you tip out, stuff like that. And I'm just so excited. I haven't done anything in the food service before my daughter was born, for sure. And before that, I want to say it's been 25 years since I've been in the food service. And I've done everything in food service. I started out as a busser when I was 15 at a restaurant in the town I was just in. And so I did busser. Then I actually went to line cook. I was the first girl line cook that they had. And the main cook, the chef that had designed everything, the owner, her name was Mickey. And so I was the first girl, but had so much fun doing that. Also did dishwashing, also did prep cook, did all the behind the scenes stuff. And then after I had left and moved back, I went to college, moved back, I started working for them again, and I did bartending as well as waitressing. And then also when I was in Nevada, I did more waitressing, and I also did management. So I've done everything. Oh, also I did payroll and everything as well for the restaurant here in the town I was just in. So I'm super excited, you guys. It's good for my soul. It'll be good for my pocketbook. Like I said, I don't get tips right now, so it's not going to be a ton of money, but the socialization is where it's at. Also, you guys, I went for a screaming trip to Rock Springs today. That's the town I always go back and forth in. That's where my grandbaby live, where my kids live. It's also where my parents' house is. I had to make a screaming trip to the Social Security office here because I was told I didn't have to file a tax return since my stepfather hadn't made enough money, so I didn't have to worry about it. But then, as we're continuing the probate process, and the past 3 months, nothing has happened in the probate process. And I misunderstood the email that I got, and the paralegal thought I was doing one thing, and I thought we were doing another thing. So long story short, we are getting ready to get the house completely cleaned out. So I ordered a large dumpster, and boy, those things are expensive. Almost $500 just to have it delivered. That's not including the rent of it. It's like the fee that they charge for it and the delivery fee. So we've got that. So this weekend we will hopefully be clearing everything out for probate. And today not only did I go to the Social Security office because I needed a 1099. You guys, I made mistakes, right? I don't know what I'm doing as an executor. I should have been more on the ball, but I wasn't. So what happened is my stepfather had retirement money and he had Social Security, and of course he got 1099s for that. All the 1099s went to his address. Well, I shut the mail down at his address months ago, not thinking about needing documents such as that. And so I went to Social Security office to pick that up. I called yesterday. They said that I had to go, and that's the closest one, but luckily they had an appointment available today at 9:20 in the morning. When I walked into the Social Security office, there was 8 people sitting there. I've never been into Social Security office, so the armed guard was like, all right, you need to go ahead and sign in, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh great, I'm gonna be here forever, and I have to work tonight. So I was like, oh goodness. Well, I sat there, I got there right on time, and then I was like, is it okay if I go to the bathroom really quick? And so I went to the bathroom and I sat back down, and within 1 minute my number came up and I looked everywhere. And she's like, whose number is that? And everybody's looking. I assumed it wasn't going to be mine, but it was mine. And the guard told everybody sitting there, she goes, see, I told you guys appointments took precedent. So got in there, went to the attorney's office, signed the paper that needed to be notarized for the court for an update to let the court know that the house is going to be listed for sale. And then of course, if we get an offer on the house, then we send that to the court, because as the executor of the estate, I do have the court's permission to sell any assets or anything that I need to. So we're selling the home. And if you watched my childhood story vlog, you know why we're selling the home. But we're also selling the home because my stepfather in his will gave money to my children and a couple other people in his family. And so in order for me to have that money without taking my own money, I need to sell the house so that I can do that. But a good day so far. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I've already driven 100 miles to the town, got all the business done. Now I'm driving 100 miles back. I need to film today's budget video, and of course you guys aren't going to see this until after that budget video goes up, but I am going to talk about the expense that it cost us to go to Hawaii. I'm also going to add pictures to this video of our Hawaiian vacation. So for Hawaii, just in case you guys didn't know, when we were there was a major Kona storm, and there were records broken over 75 years for the amount of rainfall that came through. We were there for the first Kona storm. There was a little bit of a clear, and then another system moved in. So Hawaii was hit by all kinds of storms, depending on which island you were on, depended on the how severe it was. I know Maui, so bad, so much flooding, so much destruction. I know the road to Hana was completely washed out. And then on the Big Island, there was still a lot of flooding, flash flood warnings. We were told to shelter in place. And of course, roads did wash out as well. And when we left, there were people on the Big Island that had been without power for 6 days. Luckily, the hotel that we were at, which was the Outrigger, still had power, but it rained so hard that we were on the third floor. I think technically it was the third floor, and we had a balcony and everything, and it rained so hard that our balcony, the water couldn't go out fast enough, so it flooded into our room and flooded our carpet. So this was not a joking matter. But as Mr. Snow Gardener and I said, we made memories. We just made different memories than we thought we would. We tried very hard to stay positive as far as our vacation and everything went, because our vacation being different because of some rain and not being able to go into things was nothing compared to the locals that were dealing with flooding of their homes, loss of power, which means of course loss of food. When we were there, a lot of the restaurants were closed. I know the stores, like the groceries, stuff like that. So I'm not here to complain or to whine, but I am headed home, and like I said, got to get some stuff done. I'm going for my next shift at the brewery tonight, and I'm just super excited. So I will check in with you guys either later today or tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit more about Hawaii, and I'll share some videos with you guys and some photos from our trip. And then I don't know what else this vlog will include. Maybe that will be it, but I'm gonna sign off for now. Happy Monday, everybody. I have no idea what I have for vlogs for the last couple of weeks. Of course, we were in Hawaii, and I do have footage for that, but I haven't had time to get it together. And I was going to vlog so much this weekend, and I really didn't even pick up my camera. Let me give you guys an update on what is going on. I have a feeling that my last vlog may have been Thursday. I was super excited, and I have started a job. Now, of course, for a lot of people, working from home is hard to do, and I am one of those people. For me, I need people. I am a social butterfly, and I have found without people, my mental health has not done as good as I would have liked. So if you are not familiar with my story, let me give you a very, very short recap of my story. I started this Snow Gardener 307 stuff back in 2020. That was during the pandemic. I started my budget journey in March of 2020. I had almost $50,000 in credit card debt by myself as a single mother of two. And so obviously life has changed a lot since then. I got remarried. My children are both young adults now. And back then I worked full-time at the sheriff's office, and I loved my job. Fast forward to about 18 months ago or so, a lot of things had changed at the sheriff's office. I was not happy there. The treatment there was not good. It was toxic workplace environment. And I testified and stood up for a coworker who won an internal lawsuit, or not even lawsuit, internal hearing to save his job. And the hearing officer that was brought from the outside said without a doubt that our lieutenant had created a toxic work environment. The sheriff did absolutely nothing about it, put that coworker and my friend, he was my friend, back in under the lieutenant. I was under this lieutenant as well. Things did not get better. Things just continued to get worse. And unfortunately, I lost that friend to suicide. At that moment, that is when I knew I needed to get out of the sheriff's office. It saddened me because it took me a lot of work to get into that career in the sheriff's office, but I didn't need to be there anymore. It wasn't a good place for me. So I worked my hiney off with my Snow Gardener 307 business as well as the sheriff's office to set myself up for an early retirement. Now, since I didn't put the full 20 years in, I am not drawing retirement. I can't draw it until 60. I'm going to be 50 this year. So that is not part of my income at this point. But of course, at 60, I will have a pension from the sheriff's office in the years that I spent there. When I decided to leave the sheriff's office, my business, the year that all of that happened, so in 2024, on Etsy alone, I had almost $90,000 in sales, and my YouTube was averaging a little bit over $2,000 a month. And then, of course, fast forward to today, because of other personal things that happened. I lost my stepdad. If you guys can watch that video, it talks about my childhood. There was a lot of things that happened. And so my mental health is still on the struggle bus, just for different reasons. And I am a work in progress. So I decided that for monetary reasons, I needed to go back to work, but also because I needed people. So it really wasn't money driven. The money driven part is so that I don't stress about money. I am still fine for money. I am not making very much money with my Snow Gardener business right now. March is going to be the lowest month that I've had in years in my business between Etsy sales and YouTube. And I am not putting a great effort in right now to fix this because I'm getting ready to have surgery. So I am going to be down and out for at least 2 weeks without doing anything. And my recovery time is about 6 weeks. Now that's in my childhood story video as well. So if you want to know what surgery I am having and what is going on there, you can see that there. But so here we are today, and today is March 30th. So I started a new job on Thursday. I am so excited. I worked Thursday night and Friday night, and it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I loved it. And I am bartending. I'm bartending and waitressing. I'm going back to where I started. And I have to tell you guys something really funny. I just found a note written by myself that when I grew up, I wanted to be a waitress and a movie star. So, of course, here I am back to waiting tables bartending. And my husband said, and you're a movie star because you're on YouTube. So it was funny. So the past 2 days, my husband and I have been gone from our home the entire day. We have went to what was my parents' home, and we have been cleaning it out. My son helped us on Saturday get all of the big things. And you guys, it was so overwhelming. We spent so much time working on it. We left our truck, our dually truck there, along with our snow machine trailer until Sunday. We drove another truck back home. We wanted to sleep in our own beds. We have to drive $100 miles each way. We wanted to sleep in our own bed, have a shower, have a good night's sleep, and go back. So we got home last night about 10:30 at night with a trailer of items from my parents' house. There is only a little bit, I would say there is less than 1% left in the house. It is an old, like, it's not a cedar chest because it's not made of cedar, but it's that type of chest that has some of my mom's keepsakes. So I don't even know what some of these are. But we've got old dolls in there. We also have stuff from when I was a baby, stuff like that. So I need to finish going through that. And then I've got pictures, and I just need to go through the pictures. I don't want to bring a ton of pictures here to my home that I don't want. One pack of pictures that I went through was like overdeveloped, not developed correctly. Pictures of the floor, pictures of sunsets and the mountains and stuff like that. I don't need that in my home. So I need to do that. But that is pretty much it. So we are moving and moving fast and hard now because we finally got clear communication from the attorney that while this house is still in probate, because I am the executor of the estate, I can sell it. When we get an offer, we just have to put it into the court. I need to talk to the attorney again, and I will this week to see exactly how that process works. While we were cleaning out my parents' house, we did not do a yard sale or anything. We put everything in the driveway and on the grass and put a big sign that said free. We had a huge rollaway garbage can sitting on the street, and we began to fill that and fill the yard and everything as we cleaned stuff. I did not care to have a yard sale. Everything was free. This included the whatever furniture was left, whatever was left in the kitchen, everything. There was stuff that came from the garage. My stepfather was an avid collector of 1976 Cadillac Coupe de Ville parts. And there was a young kid that got a smoking deal. We did ask for a little bit for that, but to give you guys an example, the hood that was in the garage by itself should have sold for $800, and there was so much stuff. We just wanted it gone. So he got probably $5,000 worth of parts for a couple $100. That's it. And I told my husband, I'm like, at least it gives us some gas money to recoup from going back and forth. And the amount of stuffed animals that came out of my parents' house was unbelievable. My mom loves stuffed animals, and there were stuffed animals everywhere. So we spent 2 days doing that. And on Friday, so I worked Thursday. I'm pretty sure I vlogged with you guys on Thursday. Worked Thursday night. We are not allowed to have our phones or anything, which I understand. If you're at work, you need to be at work and not on your phone, right? And especially since I was on training, I'm not going to be looking at my phone. So I didn't do any filming or anything. And then I found out that, yes, I did have to do a tax return for my stepfather's estate. I was told at one point that because he didn't make very much money last year, that a return would not be required. Yeah, well, that changed very quickly. And you guys know it's March 30th. Taxes are due April 15th. So I made a screaming trip to the same town we just got back on Friday and went to Social Security, got a 1099 for that. I got one other 1099 that day that I needed, and I'm waiting on one 1099 today. Today, like I said, is Monday. I have faxed the death certificate, my ID, the court paperwork that I am the executor of the estate, and if I can get that in and get it back in a reasonable time, then I'll get the taxes filed. My accountant is going to go ahead and file an extension because she, of course, it's the last 2 weeks of taxes. She's like, right now we're about 2 weeks out. So even if you were to get it tomorrow, I still would probably need an extension. And of course, my emergency, just because it's an emergency on my part, doesn't mean it's an emergency on her part, but we need to make sure that everything is done. And there was some miscommunication between my attorney's secretary and I, where I didn't understand her and she didn't tell me what. She thought I was doing one thing and I thought I was supposed to do something else. We could have had this house listed for the past 3 months, and because of failure to communicate, it wasn't. And I will tell you guys this on my part, with the mental health and the depression that I was dealing with, it was just too much to even think about it. So I kept waiting for them to contact me. They never did. And so this is a me part. I'm not going to blame it on my attorney or his secretary or his paralegal or anybody. This is my fault. I'm a grown adult and I could have reached out sooner than I did to find out what was taking probate so long. I thought that I had to wait until the house was out of probate to sell it. That was incorrect. As the executor of the estate, I have permission to sell property that's within the estate. And like I said, my fault. I'm new to this. I never want to be the executor for another will because it is very stressful and there is a lot of things to do. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys today. I do not have any videos for the past 2 days. And like I said, I thought about putting up a tripod. It would have been super easy to put up a tripod, just fast forward the footage of me cleaning and going through stuff and me going up and down the stairs and to the garbage and all of that. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It was a hard enough day as it was to go through. There were some really good memories. I found some more stuff that's pretty awesome. And some of the stuff that's awesome, I still threw away. There was things for all of my years in school. I did keep a book that was signed by my kindergarten teacher, a little book. I also got some books that had 45 records in it, children's books, along with my record player from when I was little. I brought those home because I'm going to have those for my granddaughter and hopefully maybe another grandchild or two. So there was some good times, but it was a lot of work. The house is absolutely disgusting and filthy. My mom was sick before we lost her to sepsis in 2020. And so I don't know the last time that house actually got dusted or cleaned besides like a basic wipe down. Now, I know there are houses that are worse, but as you're going through stuff, it's just like, oh my gosh. I am hopeful. We did have a gentleman and his wife stop by. They were picking up some of the free stuff and they asked what we were doing with the house. A lot of people asked what we were doing with the house or what we were doing. They're like, oh, are you moving out? Are you spring cleaning? And then I get to say, no, this was my parents' house. They've both passed. And then people feel like assholes and are like, oh, I'm so sorry. But it's the truth, right? It is what it is. And it's just a lot. And because I was an only child, it was a lot to deal with all by myself. And of course, with everything else, like I shared in the other vlog, that was pretty heavy. Luckily, though, I really was not by myself. Bridger helped me so much, and my son helped me this weekend. In the past, we've been cleaning this house out. Not huge things like we did this weekend, but I've been working on this house for a year. Because when my stepfather got sick and went into the hospital, I started throwing some stuff away. So it has been over a year that I've technically been taking stuff out of this house. I have brought carloads full of stuff back to my in-laws because they have an eBay store, as does my sister-in-law. So they've sold a lot of stuff. And we brought a bunch back yesterday as well for them to sell. And then also, I have thrown a ton of stuff away. Yesterday, Julia stopped by with my granddaughter and Dylan and Julia, and my granddaughter stopped by. I just wanted to see my granddaughter, but I also wanted Julia to go back through my old toys to see what she wanted to put away for Brinley when it was time. We grabbed all of the Barbie stuff and the My Little Pony stuff, boxed that up so that she could take it. So she took those. I put all the rest of the stuff out. I did bring some vintage dolls, stuffed animals, McDonald's toys to my in-laws to sell. My mom used to go to McDonald's all the time. And she did, of course, once I had my kids. But before I had my kids, I had a poodle mixed dog, a small dog, And that dog was my mom's first grandchild. And so she would take the dog, they would split a Happy Meal. So Precious was the dog's name. She would get the cheeseburger, no bun, and then my mom would eat the fries and the little soda and keep the toy. Well, she had all of these toys. And of course, stuff like that sells really good. A lot of nostalgia going through stuff. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up what's been going on, because I feel like I've kind of dropped off the face of the earth again. And I don't think that I'm through everything yet. I think once we get this home sold and I get that huge stress off of me, it'll be so amazing. And the couple that stopped by that was interested in the home, I let them know we are not fixing anything in the house. It is going to be going as is. My parents bought this home back in 1984. So they lived in the home for over 40 years. And they were a one-time owner, and my stepdad was not Mr. Fix-It. Let's put it that way. If he did fix stuff, he didn't fix it correctly. My husband may have been cussing yesterday because he already fixed the kitchen sink last year when my stepfather was in the hospital. He also fixed the front faucet earlier or in the summer last year because it was leaking. And then yesterday, because we washed our hands so much the past 2 days because of touching everything that was filthy, he found that there was a leak under the main bathroom sink. And my stepdad had put tape on it and had used like a spray adhesive that's supposed to stop leaks. The pipe was basically disintegrated. And so he was cussing, and this was late yesterday, and he goes, I have to go to Home Depot. I'm like, we're not fixing that today. Nope. I told him, I said, just pile a bunch of stuff into the sink so I don't inadvertently go to wash my hands and then have water going everywhere in the bathroom because there's no pipe underneath. So we still have work to do. And if that couple is interested, they were very, very interested. We showed them. He just asked to see the backyard. He asked my husband, can I see the backyard? And of course, we were like, sure. They were not pushy. They were not anything. They were just asking questions. And I said, if you guys want, we can show you the house right now. It's not cleaned up. There's still stuff in there, all of that type of stuff. And they walked in. So they saw that, you know, like the carpet in 75% of the home is original. The flooring is original. Everything is original. And I don't remember my mom painting ever. My bedroom is a light sky blue color, and that was the only house or room that was ever painted. Oh, we might have painted the bathroom once. But anyway, so it's a hot mess, you guys. It has, you know, like dust this thick all over everything. The walls are disgusting. Everything needs to be cleaned. And this guy was so interested in this house and an opportunity to purchase something at a lower price point that he gave me his number and, you know, said they've already been approved at the bank. And of course, I'm not going to count my chickens before they've hatched, but if we can do that and get that done and not have to deal with the house being on the market for a long time, that would definitely be a blessing. So I am hopeful that once we get an appraisal done, once we get some inspections done, because of course, in order to set a fair price for this home, I want to make sure that we've got that stuff fair for the buyer, fair for me. And of course, I am the sole heir to the home, but I am also going to set aside some money for both of my children, and that will be used when they're ready to purchase their own first home. Neither of them are ready, and we just want to cut our ties to this house. This house is not meant to stay in the family. So I am in here. I am working on bills and catching up on financial stuff that needs to be done. I was supposed to, of course, film my video on Friday. That would have been stuffing my wallet. Instead, I shared the Hawaii expenses, and that was a lot of fun. But I never reset my wallet on Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and reset it today. I'm not going to film it or anything. Do my budget stuff I need to. I need to go through and double check all of the items that I'm keeping track of for the estate of my stepdad, because as the executor, all of the stuff that I have paid out of my own pocket is like a tax write-off for the estate or something like that. So since my stepdad passed away April 15th of last year, I have been paying the bills for the house. Luckily, the house is paid for, but I've had to pay homeowner's insurance. I've had to pay tax on the home. I've also done the basic utilities, water, heat, gas. Well, I guess heat and gas are the same thing, heat and power. So I've had to pay those bills. I've also paid the trash bill. and we have done a lot of stuff. So I need to make sure I've got that all up to par. And so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for this vlog. I'm going to grab that other footage. We're going to kind of meld it together, put a vlog together. And then I am going to try to make the Hawaii vlog, the next vlog, take all that footage, get it done. And then I'll just bring you guys around for other things. I am, just so you know, I am about 2 weeks out from my surgery. I will be trying to document some of the stuff after my surgery. I'm going to be honest with you guys, just like yesterday and the day before I didn't film. I find that picking up the phone or a camera or anything and videoing is oftentimes when I'm stressed or anything is not necessarily the first thing on my mind. So that's what's been going on. That is life. We all have our ups or downs, and sometimes life gets a little heavy. But we do know that, you know, you have to have rain in order to have rainbows in your life, right? So until I see you guys next time, remember to keep on smiling. Bye, everybody. So here we are at my parents' house. So this teddy bear, my mom won this teddy bear probably 40 years ago. It has been in the house that long. You're going to see that there was dishes, there was furniture, there was a refrigerator, washer, dryer. There was this old macrame table that I'm not sure if my mom made or not. There was lawnmowers, there was shovels, there was books, there was tools, there was all the things and stuff. Now, a lot of these pictures that you see here are pictures that I sent to my in-laws to see if they wanted to sell the stuff. We've got old pound puppies. These were my toys when I was younger. Then you can see, like, as we go through the day, I started updating the pictures. Day 2, we went through the garage, so we started adding that. My stepdad had so many Cadillac parts, it wasn't even funny. And then, of course, we just had a hodgepodge of things to give away. This one coming up is a fun one. These are records that were mine that I gave to my in-laws to sell. This is the dumpster that we rented that so far we're about $500 in for, and we still have to pay for the weight and for it to be dumped. So here it is, full.